I'm Natasha Chilingarian.
And I'm Michael Ogden. This is Shared Accounts with CU Times. Breaking game news. We and our audience, from the feedback we heard, loved our 90s nostalgia theme games that Natasha helped walk us through some episodes ago. And we're going to do kind of a follow-up to those games. I don't know what it is, but Natasha, what 90s fun do you have for us?
Yes. Well, thanks for that. I'm really glad to hear that resonated. I'm just loving the nostalgia, and I feel like I think there's people in our, similar age groups listening and working in credit unions that can relate. So it's super fun. So basically, after we did our 90s teen magazine quiz podcast intro, and we should try to do that again if I can find more, but we'll see. I have to hunt around and I have to condense it. Last time it went a bit long.
It went long, but it was so interesting because Zach had this group of friends that we learned about, and I don't know. It was, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we'll see. We might be able to find some more, but anyway, for now, and this definitely won't be as long, I promise. I got to thinking more just about analog media back in the 90s from the magazines. And also it was like how it was our internet in those days. Like what was in the place of the internet, the way we now look on our phones at stuff and consume content that way. So I thought I would share another gem of 90s analog media today. Now, this might be lesser known to the public, but if anything, it should be good for a laugh. And hopefully it'll serve and also just kind of serve as a reminder of one way that we shared our like humor with one another before we had things like Twitter and like memes and all that. It's kind of like this version of that from back then.
Okay.
So let me ask first, do you remember kind of that trend of like there were these kind of cutesy, feel-good books that sort of fell into the self-help genre, like Chicken Soup for the Soul? Yeah, that was a good one. And they had all these versions. It was like Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul and for the, whatever, I don't know, the different people. And then, so there was another one that was like a popular like book that you could get. It was Life's Little Instruction Book. Do you remember that one at all?
I have a vague memory of this, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like a collection of like suggestions and reminders on like how to live a happy and rewarding life. And it had different volumes and then different versions. Apparently there was a Life's Little Instruction Book from the Bible. So maybe it had like a religious tint to it. I don't know. I actually didn't even read it, but and then there was like, the journal and like the little desk calendar, like where you could rip off those little calendars for fun.
Yeah.
Well, I never read or purchased this, but I did purchase the 2 volumes of the parody version of it. It's called Life's Little Destruction Book. And this was
like where this is
it was a collection of what the authors called boorish, insensitive, and socially obnoxious pointers for leading a simple, self-centered life.
This is right up my alley.
I mean, imagine if it was like kind of from like Seinfeld, like things they would do, or like Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's the best way I can line it up, that kind of spirit of just totally selfish and ridiculous. And anyway, it was published in 1992, the first one. And I remember reading this. I got it, I think, from a bookstore, and it was funny. I still have it on my shelf, and it said it was $2.50, like from this.
Wait, when did you buy it?
Well, I bought it later because when it was 92, I was only 9, so I wouldn't have been reading it. But I must have been in like the late 90s, maybe. Like,
and you've held on to it.
Junior high school, maybe. I don't know. But I just remember, I have memories of reading this and just laughing. You know, when you're just laughing so uncontrollably, you cannot stop laughing. You're like sore, like your body hurt. It was hysterical. So I'm just gonna, so it's not like a quiz or a game or anything, but I'm gonna read you. I went through them and I wrote down the ones that are super 90s, like things that maybe young people wouldn't even get. Based on like the technology back then or way of life. So I'm just going to read some out, and then I can get your, you can chime in with reactions if you like. And then I'll have a question for the two of you at the end.
Great.
I want to wrap it up. So, one of them was, when giving directions, leave out a turn or two. As it's like, because you would actually give people directions by saying turn right, turn left, instead of like
one person's holding a map. Or even, no, we're not even that far yet in the 90s. We're not at printing out MapQuest,
Oh, yeah.
But we're at an actual atlas is in the glove box.
No, the best
Right.
is you get the paper invitations with the hand-drawn map on the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Turn left at the
Okay.
Pizza Hut. You got to look for the Pizza Hut.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
next one is remember that free cable TV is only one shady electrician away.
Yeah. I did that in college. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, another one. This is like because they follow also different categories. Like some of them are just little like observations, and other ones are actual like instructions. Like this is what you should do. So this is an instruction: get up early and take your neighbor's newspaper.
That's just that.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's just
I don't know why you would do that if you were getting one yourself. So I don't know. Another one: put a too cute message on your answering machine.
Yeah, I used to do crap like that.
Oh, we knew that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember what. I mean, I think we just had a basic message. Maybe my mom recorded it, but I just remember people would do it where it was like the baby would be giving the message, or like a 3-year-old, and it was just like, I don't need to hear that. I mean,
that's funny.
Or maybe the dog was on it. I don't know.
Sure.
That's really silly.
Remember, you could buy those pre-recorded funny whatever answering machine cassettes.
Oh,
it's like they would do it to songs, like parody songs.
Well, like what about like the Seinfeld episode? I'm thinking
it's like kind of like
believe
that.
it or not, George isn't at
yeah.
home. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, I know there was a stretch. It wasn't quite the same thing, but like when I was in college, there would be people, if they met someone famous, would be able to try to get them to leave their voicemail message for them.
Oh yeah, sure.
So
I remember that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you really quick? I did that kind of.
Oh yeah. What'd you do?
It was when I worked in television at the time, and so it was on camera interview. I was interviewing Dr. Ruth.
Oh wow. Yeah.
She was so lovely and blunt, and I had her record a happy birthday message to a dear friend of mine. And it was so funny. Anyway.
That's fun. Yeah.
Dr. Ruth.
Oh, well. All right. So, okay. Next one, another tech related thing.
Okay.
Don't rewind video cassettes before bringing them back.
Well, that's just mean. Yeah.
I know.
At the video store.
That was rude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also some of these have kind of a financial twist. So I thought it would be part of for the podcast. Take money from your kid's piggy bank.
Hey, man.
This one, put advertisements under people's windshield wipers.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Flyers and crap.
Yeah. Leave the alarm on when he doesn't have to get up.
There you go.
So it's like the idea that there's one alarm in the bedroom. Yeah.
There was on a large digital clock. Or
yep. Yeah. I hate those. Some hotels still have them.
Yeah, they do.
It's like I always unplug those because they make me anxious. Okay. Wait 5 weeks to deposit checks.
Oh,
back to the check
theme.
theme.
Screws up everybody's books. Yeah.
I know. Refuse collect calls from your family.
You know
or
what?
the collect call? Is that even still a thing?
I would do that to my brother. He would call home from college. I was like, no.
Refuse the call.
Yep. Just say no.
They have to pay. Yeah.
See, we wouldn't do that, but I would do a collect call, and for my name, I would just put ready for you to come get me.
Yeah.
And have them refuse it, and then I'd know that it was time.
There you go.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay, another banking one. Fill out your deposit slip at the teller window.
That's annoying. Yeah.
Okay, and then adjust the reception when he's watching the big game.
Why is the woman always being the
I don't. Well, there's other ones that are opposite. Okay. I didn't include. There's some that I would say they're kind of demeaning, like some of the other opposite ones.
What?
I could say those too. Yeah. One was put the gals in the office in charge of the coffee.
Oh no. Okay, let's not do these.
I know. And then another one was call your wife the little woman.
No, I hate this. I really don't like it.
Sorry, it's funny though.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was the 90s. You could get away with whatever.
It was the 90s, but my God.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so just a couple more. It's a short one, but this is like just a phrase that like people would say that like I haven't heard in years. It was just so funny. Just have a cow. Remember that phrase you would say, stop having a cow. Like, stop freaking out over this. It was don't have a cow. It was like a phrase that people used to say. They've not heard. Yeah, I guess it was from Simpsons. Yep. Okay, next one. Tape a stupid TV show over your all-time favorite movie.
Absolutely.
Because you couldn't get it if it's taped over, you can never see it again. It's gone. And then finally, this one, it says, appear on a hair club for men commercial.
What? Okay.
It's just so funny. I don't know. So,
By the way, I looked it up, Natasha. You can buy this still on Amazon.
really?
Paperback is $6.61. The audiobook is 99¢.
What edition are they up to?
That's a good question.
Because they've got to have, added content.
I don't know. I mean, I've only
No,
had, I
it
thought
just
there were
says
two. Is it just
Publication
two?
date April 15, 1992. I don't see a new edition on this.
Yeah, I had 2 volumes, 92 and 93. So I don't think
I don't see an update on this, Zach.
I feel like there should
what a
be. I feel like
shame.
there should be a modern version.
Yeah, what?
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Right.
I want to ask, okay, real quick, just to hear from the two of you, like, what was your favorite, like, source of humor in the pre-internet days? Like, did you have a favorite, like, a newspaper columnist or a magazine column or a book or like even like an audio type thing? I'm curious what you all remember from then that you thought was funny.
I have an answer immediately, and that's what I bought all of the Far Side books.
I was
Yeah.
thinking Far Side is one of them.
Oh, that was a
Absolutely.
good one, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, those were
I
good.
love the Far Side because that was back in the 80s is when that started. And then finally, Barnes and Noble had all of them. Gary Larson put out all these huge books, and I bought all of them. Love those.
Yeah,
Those were
Far Side
great.
Far Side was great. I also always had a subscription to Mad Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I see that more as 70s is when we did that.
Well, you in the 70s and me in the 90s were around the same
thing,
age.
yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
the comic strips were a fun thing. I
were.
remember
Yeah.
reading it like every morning, like with breakfast, like reading the comic strip and
Yeah, you'd have
follow a
Garfield.
story. Yeah.
Hagrid. Was it No.
Haggard the Horrible?
The Horrible. Was it Hagrid?
Yeah.
That's Harry Potter.
Haggard, I think.
forget.
Haggard
Yeah,
the Horrible.
okay.
Yeah, Kathy, of course.
Kathy
I think
was
I brought
great.
that up once before.
Second.
Yeah.
It
I was
was
gonna say,
good, yeah.
second Kathy reference for you.
Oh boy.
Fantastic.
These were the things that shaped my brain, apparently,
right.
for worse, probably.
All right.
Anyway, okay, that's fun. Thanks
Natasha,
for letting
that
me
was-
chime in. Yeah.
That was great. Again, bring back some of those 90s quizzes from the teen magazines.
Sure.
We will gladly play along.
Absolutely.
Everybody else, if you have some 90s references or games you want us to play down the road, let us know. For right now, though, so glad you're here and welcome to Shared Accounts with CU Times. Coming up, I am talking with Jeremiah Lotz. He is SVP of Enterprise Data and Experience Design at Velera. I caught up with Jeremiah while I was down in Orlando a little while ago at Velera Live. We had a really lovely and nerdy conversation about new technology stacks the organization announced that they're working on this year concerning Atmos, among other things. Really great guy, great conversation. Stick around for that. First up, let's take our break from the week. Check in with Natasha. Hey, Ann.
Hey,
How's California?
it's hot. Yeah, it's we're in summer.
You haven't had the
So-
wildfires, though, right? From Canada? They went me there.
Not where I am. No, I'm not getting anything. So
Okay.
fortunate in that regard, I guess.
Yeah, producer Zach and I have had it.
It's crazy.
Zach's up in Minneapolis now. I'm in Madison. And yeah, we had, Zach, a couple of days of just garbage weather or air.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be able to see downtown from where I am, and
Yeah.
you couldn't see 3 blocks down the road.
No,
It was
so gross.
the air quality was at 650, whatever that means.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Some figured it out.
Yeah. Google
It was
it.
bad.
It was bad.
It's
Anyway,
gross.
glad
It's
you don't have to
terrible.
deal with that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, Natasha, as I do, what have you been watching? Anything?
Yeah, I watched a movie that this is one that you actually recommended to me,
Oh,
and I saw
okay.
it pop up on Peacock.
Hmm.
So, as you know, probably by now, I usually just wait till things go on streaming.
Sure.
Obsession. Oh boy.
Obsession. What
And I
did
don't
you
know,
think?
and I'm trying to think. I don't know how to describe it while not being like totally like saying something totally like gross or offensive, or I mean, because it's a pretty gruesome movie. say. It's
Is
quite
that?
gruesome.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I loved it though. Absolutely loved it. Just it felt like it was like a book you can't put down.
Mhm.
You know, you just want to keep going. It felt like that. It's like, oh my God, what is going to happen next? And
Yeah.
wow, just wow. And the actings, I mean, the kind of the intimacy of it, the pacing, just the way it was framed, and just the terror of it was so good. Namely, the acting from the lead female. Wow.
I have to look. I keep forgetting her name, but she was just stunningly great at acting. Indy Navarrete is her name.
She's probably going to take off, I imagine, from here.
But yeah, you're totally right. It's hard to describe this movie without getting into it, you know?
Right.
And getting into it, we just can't do on this platform.
Yeah, exactly. It's just too much to,
But what a movie. And it does go by so fast. Like you're saying, like a really good book. It just flies by. You are engrossed in every frame of that movie. Oof.
Yeah, I was genuinely like just spooked and terrified. And not only that, but also just the story and the plot, and then what you think about whatever you think it might mean is also like, it's deep too, I guess I could say. It's not just, oh, it's a well shot horror, you know, it's like makes you think a lot about things with relationships.
It does, and it doesn't answer the questions either, you know?
Right.
I appreciated that it left it all kind of open. But man, what did you give it on Letterboxd?
I think I gave it 4.5 stars.
Oh, 4.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I gave it 5.
I know, that's impressive. And now, didn't you? I just asked, did you see it in the theater?
Yep.
So, what was that like? What was the experience like with an audience and reactions?
Yeah, because it is so rare that I get to a theater, because movies we don't have a ton of theaters around here anymore, and movies kind of blow through here in like 2 weeks. But this one ended up staying like 2 months or so, and it was a packed audience, like 11 at night, which is really late for me.
Yeah, that is late.
It was hilarious. I mean, the audience feedback of what was going on, it was a great group experience, you know. I will watch it, you know, on streaming, but at the theater it was a perfect theater movie, really, at the time.
I bet, yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, it was a good one.
Watch it, people. It's great.
Yes, just watch it. Yes. Can I say there is one thing that I was not so pleased with that was a little bit too much, and it was, if you have anything around, like if you're a major like cat lover, animal lover,
okay,
there is a plot point involving a cat that's a little hard to watch. That's just prepare yourself if that's something that would be disturbing for you.
It's a little relentless.
And I didn't expect it to continue the way it did.
And yeah, but you're right. Heads up.
I thought I would mention that. Yeah.
So good. I'm so glad you saw it and that you
I was so excited.
I highly recommend people watch it.
Right.
Honestly, Natasha, I felt the same after I watched it. I'm like, that is a movie. That is why you go to the theater. And, you know, it was just such a pleasure to be entertained like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
It's hard to find. It really is, especially in a newer movie. I find it's hard to find one that really hits. It really is just a success. And yeah, this was one of them.
So good. And it's not long. Very quick movie. It's like an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Natasha, I'm really glad you saw it. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Did your boyfriend watch it?
Oh, he was actually away that day.
Okay.
So
that might be good.
And he's not really a horror fan at all. So I was really happy I had the day to myself. And then that appeared and I was like, this is so perfect. Yes. Nice. I was so excited.
All right. Awesome. Well, again, glad you had that experience. Watch it, everybody. Obsession. It's at least on Peacock right now. Okay, let's move on to my interview with Jeremiah Lotz. Again, SVP of Enterprise Data and Experience Design at Velera. First, I have to say this. He had one of the better suits I had seen in a long time. I actually complimented him in the interview. I was like, damn, nice. That's a great fit. Second, we more importantly dug into new tech and the new tech improvements and plans that Velera has been rolling out. They've been very aggressive about it since the spring. So there's really interesting focus with their technology happening at Velera this year. So listen to this conversation with me, Mr. Lotz, about tech, Ohio State. Weirdly, we also talked about cheese fries. All of that coming up next. All right, everybody, I'm Michael Ogden here at Velera Live in Orlando, and I got a special guest. I hadn't met him before, Jeremiah Lotz. Jeremiah, what's your title at Velera?
I'm the SVP of Enterprise Data and Experience Design.
Okay. Jeremiah, you all have a bunch of big announcements that came out of the show, and I wanted to kind of dig into some big picture items here of positioning. Well, kind of explain what you announced first.
Yes. Absolutely. So our biggest announcement was really around our ecosystem. So Stellaris is our technology stack that drives our larger ecosystem of Atmos.
Yep.
And Atmos is responsible for powering our data environment, our risk environment, and our payments. And all those three things working together is what creates really the experience for both the credit unions and consumers.
Okay. You all are positioning this really as a major step forward. What's the problem you're solving here?
Yeah. So I would say there's a couple opportunities that we're focused on here. One is enabling the credit unions to provide the experience that they want for both their consumer as well as their shop, their financial institution.
Okay.
And making it easier for them to interact with a partner like us who is at large scale powering payments and most payments for most of these organizations. Mm-hmm. And that's one piece of it. The other part is really leveraging that information that runs through that ecosystem and giving the credit union the ability to have insights and data available to them so that they can make decisions about real-time things that are happening today and even future decisions based off of the output of that insight and those data.
In the announcement, I made a note of it that you all mentioned analytics and connectivity and engagement have traditionally operated kind of separately.
That's right.
And why has this been such a persistent challenge, and what changes now?
Yeah. So I would say from an analytics perspective, if you look at historically how this has been approached in the industry as a whole, it's really been about, describe to me what's happened in the past. And then, separately, we'll take that information, those reports, and you'll create an experience or a servicing opportunity. Really what we're trying to do is describe to me what's happening right now in real time and help also prescribe to me what I should be doing as a result of that information and activity. So if I think about the way that payments are coming through or consumers are interacting with their card payments, the digital channels, and I can look at that information in near real time and say, hey, there are trends that are implying that these consumers are at risk for fraud or certain behaviors. And I can put that information into the hands of the credit union, really in what we would refer to as kind of embedded analytics. And I can put that into the hands of a credit union in near real time, and they can say, okay, great, I'm gonna make this decision based off of the information that's occurring today, and I'm gonna change the experience. And that's one way, but I would say even a second way is even us being able to actively change the experience for the consumer as they are, let's say, engaging in the digital application. So if I know that consumer A recently made a job change and I can see other historical information about them, I can start to drive them directly into an experience of, let's upgrade that card into one that's more financially appropriate for that member. And secondly, a member might come in who has gone through a bad fraud situation. I'm not going to ask them to upgrade their card. I'm going to give them tools and information about feeling comfortable about using that account and leveraging that tool set as they move forward. So I can change that experience for the consumer based on the information and the analytics that we provide.
Can I tell you what? So I read the announcement. Talking to you, you are making it a lot more clear for me. I am super dumb when it comes to figuring out the purposes and the reasoning behind it, so thank you. You're making me feel a lot better about understanding all of this. And I want to ask about credit unions because a lot of them feel like they're data rich but insight poor.
Yes.
Chuck has said that, I believe, before in the past. How does this particular ecosystem actually help them move from insight to action in real time?
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite questions because I think this is absolutely the point in which we can pivot that for a financial institution. So we have all spent in the industry the last several years money on collecting data, storing the data. I need all the information, but not all of it is put to use at this point, right? Like we have a lot of data that sits there and is stored and is important and protected, but it's not all actively helping us make decisions. And so really our opportunity and our goal is when we think about modernized technology like AI enablement
Yeah.
and setting that on top of this data ecosystem in a way in which I can interact with it in a natural environment and say, hey, what are the trends of my consumers who are millennials over the last 6 months from spending behavior? And I can, based on just entering that information, I can get an intelligent response, and I can get analytics that gives me, here's what those trends have been, and even here's what we predict those trends to be in the future. That allows that information to be actionable, and I can do something with it, right? And so I think that's one of the biggest opportunities. And then even able to make the part of the ecosystem announcement that we made is really around flexibility and making it easy enough for our credit unions to consume data from that environment.
Okay.
Or even insights. So it might be raw data, or it might be insights that we've curated that they can consume and then combine with information they have. Again, they're data rich. So if they have other information that we might not have, how can they combine those insights and get them easily from us to further expand?
I want to go to Atmos Exchange quickly. What does this do for credit unions right now? I guess that's the question.
Yeah, right. So that goes really directly back to where I was and how credit unions can consume the information from us. So historically, we've had the ability to consume data through batch files, through APIs, and this is a modernized set of APIs. So they're structured a bit differently, still API based. But what also is the next evolution of Atmos Exchange is maybe APIs is how you want to receive some of the information, but maybe some of the data you want actually streamed from one cloud environment to another.
Yeah.
So how do we move data from our cloud environment into yours in a way that gives you more near real-time information?
How is the API different? You're saying it's built differently?
Yes. So APIs historically have been really focused on a specific individual call or individual piece of information.
Okay.
The way we're basing the design of these APIs is, first they're RESTful, which that in and of itself isn't brand new, but it is a modernized capability.
Okay.
But we're also building them in, functions, if you will. So if I know that I need to open an account or get a card, here are the pieces of information you need, which you can receive in one set of calls versus making 10 calls to get all the information and compile that experience.
Okay, so that's a real world example right there.
It is.
So what's the timing of I think Chuck mentioned during his keynote, turning over in 75 seconds or something. It sounds like that's a real world example that you're talking about here with Atmos. Can you kind of give us another, broadly, what credit unions can use this for? Yeah,
I would say, looking at the capabilities of Atmos completely differently than from the experience of how the credit union and or their development team can consume it is probably one of the other biggest advantages.
Okay.
So what we're also releasing is what I would refer to as a developer portal, which would allow their technology team enter into a secure space where they can start to see the examples of those calls, and they can start to piece calls together based off of our documentation. It's interactive and they're able to engage with. They can piece calls together and start to realize, okay, if I use these 2 calls from Velera, here's the experience I can create, or here's the information I can get. So almost like a sandbox, if you will, that they can start to create in, and then based off of what they establish, then very quickly they can say, okay, great, I've got what I need. I can essentially copy that code and then insert it into my environment versus going through historically, thousands of pieces of paper to look for individual calls.
Yeah. Can we talk about AI really quick in all this? What's actually different or meaningful here with AI versus how it used to be, I guess? I don't know. We're so bombarded with AI right now, so I don't know how to ask the question anymore, but how's AI being incorporated here, I guess?
So I'll give a couple examples, because AI really is coming through in all aspects of how we're enabling our technology and ultimately how this ecosystem with Stellaris and Atmos is coming to fruition. So first of all, we're embedding AI into our data applications. So allowing a credit union to consume and interact with the information in
Who
a
is
more...
this?
Mark said, right, how are you, sir?
How are you?
One of my great buddies. And I thought, do I interrupt?
Yes,
looks like
you
a nice
absolutely
guy.
interrupt.
I can interrupt. He looks like a nice guy.
And now I have to do the rest of it in your accent.
I'm not editing that out. Okay, this is how it goes. It's fine. What were we saying? AI.
AI.
Yes. A couple of examples you were saying.
Yes. So one of the examples of how AI is kind of embedded throughout this ecosystem is really leveraging it to engage with the data. As a credit union is looking at the amount of information and the data we have, it can ask a question and AI will pull back for it based off of that very common language-based question.
Yeah.
Here's the information that you need, and here are the key insights. So it will start to build for you insights in real time based off of a question that you've asked, maybe about experience or trends of a certain demographic, if you will.
Okay.
It will start to build insights, and it will start to give you information and context as to here's the data that you're looking at, and here's why these insights are ultimately a part of kind of my output, if you will. And the other place that AI starts to show up in this ecosystem is really the way in which we're delivering the ecosystem. So our developers today are involved in leveraging AI to help us test the code that we create,
okay,
to help us even do some of the initial coding, and then ultimately kind of speed up the process of when we're thinking about new APIs, as an example, leveraging AI in that development cycle to get APIs out faster is another way. So two very different experiences. One, how the credit union can engage with AI in that scenario, but the other of how we're using it to increase and enhance the way in which we provide speed to market.
A couple of more questions here, because I want to go straight from that AI discussion because it sounds even more powerful than I originally envisioned. And again, remember, I'm not that smart with all of this. I'm learning in real time almost. But with all of this, what does adoption look like with this?
For AI or for the ecosystem?
For the ecosystem, I'm sorry, to clarify.
So I would say that's probably one of the exciting parts about it is really adoption is based off of what the credit union needs. So we do not expect that every credit union is going to engage with us and our ecosystem the same way. That's the intent and that's the value. So when we think about what does that actually mean? So our vision is that we are able to sit down with the credit union and talk about, what are their goals? Is their goal to create a advanced consumer experience? Is their goal to create a operational experience that is reducing time in their shops? Those could be two different things. And then start to drill into, what's the best way to consume Velera, if you will, through this ecosystem? Sure. So some of that might be consuming hosted applications that we have, and we can get functions and capabilities integrated into their products to allow a consumer to have new features or new capabilities quickly, like digital card or buy now, pay later as an example. Some of it may be they have an application that they've built to serve a client and to do operational work. And the best way for them to enhance that experience is to consume our APIs and maybe even bring in some data through a streaming capability and create an experience that they own and that they have control of in their operations area. So my point there is it's intended to be flexible, that not every credit union is going to interact or consume the same way, and that's intentional.
Okay. Last question on this main part. Looking at 2027, let's get through this year. What does success look like for a credit union using this?
Yes. So I think success looks like them being able to accomplish their strategic goals in a less complex manner, right? So being able to look at their partnership with Velera and saying it is easy for me to do business with them, it is easy for me to get the information I need. I am able to proactively get insights on the data that they have, and I can make decision off of those insights. And I'm able to integrate into that platform in a way that is expeditious and is modernized and allows me to create the experiences I want as a credit union in either the back end or the front end of my operations.
Okay, this is my last question in this part. How excited for you to get this finally announced? You know, when it finally came out, how'd that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled because I think the amount of effort that our teams have put into place over the last couple of years, I mean, we have, as we brought two organizations together, we brought together a lot of technology, a lot of investment, and a lot of skill. And it really gave us the ability to rethink how we entered the market and reimagine what our products, how they were consumed by financial institutions and how we were enabling our credit unions. And so it's great to kind of see that come to fruition and start to be able to have the conversation with our credit unions on what's the goal you have and how best do we help enable that.
Okay. Now, when people join our podcast, we do kind of a all about you section to wrap it up.
Yep.
Are you up for it?
Sure.
These are just all about Jeremiah.
All right.
Okay. Question 1. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay. Do you still live there?
I do not. I live in Clearwater, Florida, which is much better weather than Kentucky.
Noted. Okay. Were you in sports or band or anything like that in school?
I was in band.
What'd you play?
The drums.
Me too.
Did you?
Were you any good?
I was not.
Oh, really?
No, I was not good. Yes.
It's okay.
I couldn't play the drums and march at the same time. I could do one or the other.
Oh, that was the problem. Okay. It takes a lot to do that. Do you ever still play or anything, or you just fully gave it up?
I played a few times to show my children, and they asked me not to do it again.
Okay, sure. You can show them a paradiddle or whatever.
That's right.
Okay, Jeremiah, that's where you grew up. How did you become, and I say this lovingly, a nerd and get into all of this?
Yes. I grew into being a nerd. I wasn't always a nerd.
Okay,
no.
Fair enough.
So actually I started a job when I was in college. I went to school at Ohio State, and I was in college and got a job at a local bank, really just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And it was finance and business was not my career at the time.
Sure.
And as I got into that, I started to really realize that you had an opportunity to create things, to build things. And it started very simple. It was near the time in which online banking was becoming a big deal.
Yeah.
And so I very quickly was able to kind of get into the group of people who were building our online banking applications and start to realize what it looked like to do consumer research.
Yeah.
And then what it looked like to take that insight and that research and turn it into an experience.
Okay, so if I were to say OH.
IO.
There you go. I also graduated from there.
Awesome.
Where'd you live in Columbus then during school?
Well, I lived in Morrill Tower.
Okay.
Which I had a great view into half of the football stadium.
Yep.
So that was my favorite experience.
That's really cool. Is that the one Jeffrey Dahmer lived in?
I knew someone was going to know that. It's not. Jeffrey
it's true.
Dahmer.
He lived in one of the towers.
He
I
lived
forget which one.
The one next to it. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. For a short period of time.
Sure. I lived in a dumpy place on West 9th.
Nice.
And worked at Scioto Country Club and Max and Irma's.
Yes, Max and Irma's.
The
best cheese fries.
Cheese fries. Garbage burger, I think, is what I had to make a lot of. Okay, 2 more questions.
All right.
What was the first album, piece of music, cassette, whatever, that you remember buying or listening to?
Wow, you know how to ask embarrassing questions.
No, it's not embarrassing.
Vanilla Ice. It was my first CD.
Okay, maybe you should be embarrassed. No, I'm kidding. What year was that then? 80?
Yeah.
9?
I can't count back that far.
8? Yeah, something like that. That's cool. I bet that was awesome though at the time.
Yes, it was. It was.
Do you remember the store you bought it or whatever?
I think I got it as a gift because I got a CD player and that CD for my birthday.
That's awesome. Okay, last question. What was the last movie you watched?
The last movie I watched was, oh goodness, it was actually Hopper at the movie theater with my children. I thought it was great.
I heard it was really good. Gosh, I can't remember who all is in that, but I saw some really good write-ups about that.
It was much better than I expected. It was worth seeing.
What'd your kids think?
They loved it. They were very excited about it, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that is how this show works. Everybody, that is Jeremiah Lotz, SVP of Enterprise Data and Experience Design at Velera. Really nice meeting you. Thanks for sitting down here. Also, how many people did you know just walking by?
About 50% of them.
Okay, great. That's what I figured. All right, thank you so much, man.
All right, thank you.